Hey there, my fellow intellectuals. How are you doing tonight? Kyle here with another video for you all. And tonight I wanted to talk to you guys about the topic of PhD research advisor versus PhD research topic in graduate school, and what I think is ultimately the more important factor when choosing your eventual PhD or master's level research path. Now, this is a video for those of you who are in a similar situation to what I was in about 3 years ago when I was a new graduate student and I had switched my research field and I was a bit unsure as to what to pursue for my PhD. So based on that search, I came to the conclusion for myself that the PhD research advisor was the more important factor between the two. And let me tell you why I think that is the case. For one thing, this is not to say that if you love the PhD advisor, that you should go with their group, even if you absolutely detest and hate the kind of research that they do. I sort of had a similar scenario a couple of years ago where I really vibed well with a professor, but their research was very experimental. I'm not a very hands-on person, and I just knew I would be a disaster in their lab, so I knew I couldn't be in that lab group, even though I really thought the professor was an amazing researcher. A couple of years ago, when I was on the hunt for potential research advisors, I made a list of questions that I would ask them, and I would gauge whether or not, based on their responses, we would be a good fit for each other. And I made a video on those questions that I'll put in the description below so you guys can watch the video and you guys can try and determine whether or not a potential professor is a good advisor for your PhD. Now, again, I want to stress that this is not to say that the research you do should be something that you don't like. I think that it's better to have an advisor that you really like and a research project that you like to, at worst, are neutral about, as opposed to having a really bad advisor and a research project that you love, in the sense that research advisors can really make or break your academic experience in a PhD program. If they're not a good advisor, and there are a lot of different forms that could come in, but for example, a research advisor who is not very attentive to you, doesn't really check up on your research progress, doesn't help you edit your papers and make sure you're developing into a good scientist, someone who hasn't been publishing for the past several years and is maybe just sort of resting on their laurels now because they're tenured and they don't really care too much about supervising graduate students. They can come in all different shapes and sizes in terms of bad advisors. And so I think, being in a PhD program for 5 to 6 years, there's this saying that advisors and you are sort of like in this academic marriage where you're going to have to discuss really hard things with each other in terms of your progress, what you want to do with your career, stuff of that sort of nature. And having someone that you care about and respect, I think, is a very important factor when considering your overall career trajectory. Now, advisors also can play a crucial role not only in graduate school, but also beyond graduate school, because if they are a very well-established researcher in their field, they'll probably have connections to other well-established researchers in their field that can potentially be advisors for you during your postdoc, or people you can connect with and try and get faculty jobs with at other universities. So again, the advisor, I think, has all these different influences, right, over your PhD path, as opposed to just your research topic. Now, the research topic, I think, is something that like I said before, you should at least be neutral about, but preferably you like the topic and you can see yourself working on this topic for the next couple of years. But I think people need to realize that you're not married to just one topic for your entire research career, right? You can change, you can adapt, you can switch research interests as time goes on, like I did. And that, I think that is something you should also take into account when making the decision, that just because you're going to dedicate a good portion of your initial scientific career to this topic or very, very niche field, it's not going to be the thing you necessarily spend the rest of your life on, and that you'll have the option to venture out and do other things. And again, having a good research advisor who can guide you through the project, who knows the field well, who can put you into contact with people who can influence your career in a positive manner is ultimately, in my opinion, more of an important factor than just what you study. So I hope I made the case clear. I hope it was okay for you guys to follow along. But that is my feelings on the debate here, and I hope that this video helps you in deciding whatever you decide to pursue and decide who to pursue your research with. And I hope it was helpful. So thank you again for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe if you thought it was helpful, and I will see you guys in the future. Have a good one.